Viewers, 17-year-old Lavanya committed suicide on the 9th of January, accusing the hostel warden of trying to forcibly convert her. In fact, she made that claim, viewers, in a video. Many feel that because it was her last dying declaration, it has a sanctity of its own. A month and a half later, the state government seems to be rushing to side with the accused rather than the victim in this case. A DMK legislator and leader received the main accused, Sagaya Mary, outside the jail after she was granted bail, and then went on to heap praises on her for providing education to the poor in the state. Now, viewers, the misplaced gesture is poor optics. You will all appreciate this point, for it only confirms suspicions that the state is subverting justice. When a probe is underway, when a case has been filed in court, the last thing a legislator or a leader should be doing is to try to influence the court by openly standing in solidarity with an accused. This is basic jurisprudence. But this latest betrayal of Lavanya and her family comes after the High Court handed over investigations into her death to the CBI to ensure against state meddling. In fact, viewers, the High Court suspected that the state was more interested in appeasement of a particular community than, viewers, providing justice to Lavanya and her family. Many, in fact, have even said, viewers, that the manner in which key evidence was set aside by the police in this particular matter suggests that there was a cover-up underway. Losing all confidence in the state investigative agencies, the High Court in Madras decided, in fact, to hand this case over to the CBI. Now, viewers, let me very quickly show you these visuals and also play out the soundbite of this particular offending legislator. I'll come to that. But being a legislator close to Stalin, obviously, viewers, questions are now being directed by the opposition straight to the Chief Minister. Let's first listen in to the reasoning that has been extended by some of these individuals. Okay, we'll just play out the soundbite. I don't know why we're not ready with it, but let's just, viewers, give you a quick background. I want to take you over what was said by this DMK MLA. The DMK MLA said she worked for education of the rural poor. Now, who are we talking about here? We're talking about the key accused. What did Lavanya say about this individual? Viewers, Lavanya said that Sagaya Mary forced her to do chores. She made her do accounts for the hostel, mistreated her regularly, physically and mentally abused her, and didn't give her food if fees was late. These were Lavanya's charges, apart from, of course, saying in the last video that she filmed or that was taken of her that she was actually punished by the school authorities, in this case a Catholic school, viewers, for not agreeing to convert to Christianity. On the other hand, you have this DMK MLA who says, I went to welcome and inquire about her. Justice will prevail. I will still work for religious harmony. clearly, viewers, also admitting tacitly that this entire case is really about a conversion that went wrong. That's basically what it is. Now, there have been many betrayals, viewers. This is not the only one. The police took action only after protests erupted in this matter, even though there was a video in which Lavanya came out and made very clear the reasons why she was taking her life. The second betrayal was that the conversion angle was ruled out by the police even before a probe could take place. The police were accused of releasing confidential information to try and, at some level or the other, discredit the conversion angle that was being suggested by Lavanya and her family. There's a fourth betrayal, viewers. They went after the man who shot the video, the last dying declaration, despite the High Court directive saying that don't do this, investigate that video, don't go after the person who shot that video. They blocked the CBI investigation in the case, they moved the Supreme Court, and of course now finally the final nail in the coffin, DMK leader facilitates the main accused in this case. Now I want to open this up, viewers, because it raises obviously very serious issues. And I want to begin with Dr. Subramanian Swamy. Dr. Swamy, first of all, how do you characterize what has happened? This entire decision to felicitate the accused even before or even during the pendency of a probe. Why would this have been done?
Well, I think certainly for a cover-up, but you know, the attempt to convert is in Tamil Nadu and then in Karnataka and other places has been going on, and this is no surprise. What I feel sad about is this Lavanya girl was top of the class. Her grades were superb. And you know, the nation has lost her. She did what she could do. She knew that her parents will be in difficulty, and she didn't want, you know, to risk her own future by being brought in this way. So she took her life, but she left a record. And I think in this case, as you yourself have very aptly put it, it's a case of a conversion going wrong. But there are, across Tamil Nadu, there are a number of examples of where forcible conversions are being attempted. And I think something needs to be done on a comprehensive basis by the National Human Rights Commission or something like that, which the people will not feel is a political move to, you know, play politics.
Dr. Swamy, what is the evidentiary value of a tape recording of the victim in this case of Lavanya, who came out and said that, look, my family was approached 2 years ago. They said you need to convert. They put their foot down, and after that I faced persecution.
Well, you see, if the tape is now by forensic proved to be genuine, then it is it's almost like conviction. I mean, the dying declaration has got a very high evidentiary value in criminal law. So therefore, all that needs to be done is that the tape needs to, if they have not already done it, at least now the CBI has taken it over, they will do it. And once it's proved to be genuine tape, I'm afraid the accused is going to have a very hard time to get out of jail and maybe even face lifetime imprisonment, because he didn't directly kill her, but he induced her to suicide. So that will be definitely life sentence.
Well, on January 24th, the investigative officer told the High Court that the conversion clip was authentic, and the High Court ordered, therefore, Muthuvel to submit his phone. Muthuvel is the individual who, by some accounts, belongs to the BJP ecosystem, who actually filmed Lavanya. Now, will that play on the minds of those that are investigating, or even the judges, etc.?
No, that's why the CBI was ordered by the Madurai. In fact, I myself had prepared a petition, and you know, Madurai is my town where I once got elected to Lok Sabha. And so there's the Madurai branch of the Madras High Court But then the judge was a very astute judge. He had already seen the whole thing, and he had passed an order on the CBI inquiry, which has now been upheld by the Supreme Court. So I don't think all this, whatever rigmarole, whatever pressure, everything that now that the CBI has got into the act, I don't think it's going to be easy for them to do that. I would say that the chief minister should be neutral. He should not be seen taking any side. I don't want him to take the side of the poor girl who committed suicide or the accused persons. But he should be neutral. After all, this is very important that our society, religious harmony can only come when the truth prevails and not propaganda.
Well, Dr. Swamy, two questions to you. The minister, this is now the High Court making these observations. A minister had absolved the school. Education department also gave a clean chit. State police selectively leaking information. And therefore, this entire investigation should be transferred to the CBI. Now, given the very strong observations made, are you surprised that the DMK, if it does claim that it is not influencing this probe, has not instituted any inquiry at the level of the police to find out why some of these infractions have happened or why their ministers were absolving the school?
Of course, the DMK has been always like that. They have some antipathy to the Hindu religion. I have seen this. It's all very irrational. Many of them are my good friends. Karunanidhi was a very good friend of mine. We used to have long discussions. But he had this deep distrust of Hinduism, and he thought that it should be wiped out, and it is something, all this Aryan Dravidian nonsense, you see, which now has been exploded by the DNA studies and the genetic studies conducted in respected journals, both in India and abroad. And so this is really what is behind the whole Dravidian movement. Was snatched the power from the, the what Savarnas, as they are called. I mean, not only Brahmins, but Kshatriyas and Mudlyas and all that. And once they came to power, they decided to continue this to retain power. So I think this is what is behind it. They are not great adherents of Christianity, or they want to convert people to Christianity. They just don't want the Hindu religion to prosper in Tamil Nadu.
Okay, well, Dr. Swamy, thank you very much for joining us and giving your perspective on this. Important, viewers. Of course, the opposition will say that, look, why are you hauling us over the coals? Remember the time when Jayant Sinha felicitated a group of individuals who lynched one particular minority also. So they'll take you back, viewers, about 4 years to draw this equivalence, but it's a valid point and we'll discuss it. Nothing is going to be hidden on Times Now, especially in India Upfront. I open this up. Thank you, Dr. Swamy, for joining us this evening.